Okay. Ooh. All right. Just going to give it a moment for everyone to stream in. Actually, do you think I should tie up my hair? I think I'll just tie up my hair. Okay, beautiful ones. Just give me a moment. Just give me a moment. All right. Okay. Whew, how is everyone feeling today? All right, darling ones. I just want to make sure that the live is working and my face is not too close. And that you can hear me as well. If you can hear me, let me know. Last time around, the sound system was a little bit funky, so I'm just gonna give it a little try here. And please say hello if you're joining me live. If you're on the replay, please say hello as well. Replay. I'm gonna just double check my volume now. Hello if you're joining me. Okay, perfect. All right, it's working. Okay, guys. All right. So today's topic is really, really exciting. And I have a feeling that it is something you probably already know. But I'm going to dive a little bit more deeply into this topic because it is really close to my heart. It is absolutely a conversation that perhaps some of you will not be prepared for, and perhaps more of you will be prepared for. So whatever it is, please take heart. Please always take this with curiosity. I always say that, whatever that I speak about here is meant to be taken, if you resonate, absolutely excellent. If you don't, then you're very welcome to just tune off and come back when you're ready. It's absolutely all for you. So I want to just welcome you and let you know that, in this space, there's never any doctrine or dogma. So welcome, darling ones. And thank you so much for joining me. Okay. So today's topic is why your mind has to work with your body. And I know that a lot of you probably have heard of this before, the fact that, we have so much in information out there. But I want to talk about this from my own perspective and how I work with my clients and how I have experienced my own healing and how I have really, really transcended and spiraled upwards and transformed in a really, really short span of time to who I am right now and today, and continue to evolve into a greater and greater version of who I am. First and foremost, I want to share with you a little experience of what I went through so that you understand where I'm coming from and why I'm so devoted to this. Hello, Becky. Welcome, darling one. All right. So I don't know why my face is so cut off on Facebook. I'm just going to I'm just gonna move myself a little bit because I feel like my head is so close to the screen, and I don't wanna like scare you off. All right. Okay, I think this is much better, right? Okay. That's um that's a little card in the background that I gave to my husband on his birthday. All right, darling ones. Okay, let's get back to this. So, as some of you all know, I have come from a history of 10 years of anorexia. And in that 10 years, I have always been yo-yoing back and forth in recovery. I never fully recovered from the first time I had anorexia and got diagnosed with anorexia to like pretty much towards the very end of my 10th year. And, throughout those 10 years, I have no memory of myself feeling deeply connected to my body in whatsoever way. To me, I just viewed my body as a metric, like something that I could measure, something I could feel like I could have total control of, something that I can absolutely be really harsh on and see results coming through, right? I say quote unquote results because yes, I do lose the weight. I do, I do all the things and I feel thinner. But it was a very, 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 very as like lifeless life, let's put it that way. So throughout my entire life, I think, it's fair to say that, through conditioning and through all of the things that I was taught and the things that I put myself through, I never really felt a connection with my body until I fully recovered from anorexia and all the other eating disorders, like having an eating disorder and also body dysmorphia. When I fully recovered, I found myself fully immersed in a lifestyle and a practice actually of meditation, of spiritual awakening, and truly a lot of interest in how I can really, really transform my mindset at that time. What I realized was that I found myself intellectually understanding a lot of things. Like I would read a lot of things. I would digest a lot of information. But I always felt like I was having this like different identity to who I really am, if that makes sense. Like I have different personalities. I have this version of me who is meditating and fully immersed in the spiritual world, and then there's another me who is working a 9 to 5 job and kind of like embarrassed about talking about it, and probably was also, and I would say it this way, I got really sidelined and made fun of for talking about anything that is remotely spiritual or even motivational at that time. So I had to hide that side of me in a lot of ways. And at that time, I was actually fully recovered from my eating disorder, and also have had that moment when I felt myself moving my body, which I've spoken before about. That was the first time. And ever since then, I've been cultivating that connection within me to feel my breath, to feel myself awakening, and I felt my kundalini awakening. I felt myself shoot out of my crown and go astral traveling. I've had all those experience, but I didn't really have a community or people to talk to about it. And also at that time, even when I was understanding a lot of things that were happening to me, I felt really like it was just so disjointed. It was just this word. I can only use this word to describe it, disjointed. So not long after that, I really, really, set out to request to the universe that, I really want to know, give me a sign, show me something. What can I do to really, really feel truly aligned with my soul? And that was when I got an invitation to a tea ceremony. And that is the moment when I crossed paths with Tea Spirit. And in that ceremony, some of you already probably know this story. I literally really remembered myself. It was like a journey home to myself. And from that bowl of tea, I also heard a beautiful voice, which is the voice of Tea Spirit, telling me that you have to go out and serve tea. You have to leave behind everything you know and go and serve tea. And so in that moment, I had a choice to make, but I did make a choice pretty quickly. I knew that this was the right thing because I just couldn't stop thinking about it. I felt butterflies in my stomach. I was really excited. My mind is just so like, oh my goodness, scared and fearful and all those sort of things. It's overthinking, like who are you to do this? What are you doing? But despite all of that, so much in my circumstance started to work for me that it was just like impossible to say no to this. And so I started to apprentice myself, and eventually my master actually even came from Taiwan to where I was living in Hong Kong, and I got to study with him. It was so graceful and effortless and easy. It was just all meant to be, and I was just walking through the doors as the doors opened, the doorway, one by one. I was just walking through, walking through, walking through. And, eventually COVID happened, and I had to decide, how can I make this work? Because I can't sit with women and people to have tea. And I was worried. Again, my mind was having all these little chatter, this mini chatter going on. It's like, who's gonna do this with you? How are you gonna even do this without meeting people and sitting with people and serving tea in person? But despite all of that, again, Tea Spirit was with me throughout, and it was a very clear sign and guidance. And I knew that I just had to keep doing this across the screen. And it's funny because thinking back at the beginning, when I was doing it, I was so nervous. I was so worried. I was like all in my head. I was like thinking, I don't know if they can feel it. They're not even drinking the tea that I drink. Like, can they actually feel it? And the response was just overwhelming. It was so amazing. Like, people were just saying like, oh my gosh, I've never felt this deep peace ever. And I would meet all kinds of people who would just drop into my DMs, and they would sign up and they would sit with me with tea. And I've known so many friends through this. And all the clients who came in and out of my life, there was something they needed from tea and they took it. And if they stayed, they stayed. If they didn't, they got what they needed and they moved on from the way of tea. And it was one of the things that I was taught very early on, actually, when I first studied tea, is that not everyone will walk the way, all the way. Not everyone. And my tea master, actually, back home in Malaysia, he would always say to me, the way of tea is not an easy way to walk. People think it is, but a lot of people give up on the way, especially the ones who have been conditioned in the westernized way of living. And I consider myself as someone who's been conditioned in the westernized way of living because, obviously, I've been educated in a westernized way. And even though I went to a Chinese education system, school system for my entire life, the majority of the education was very westernized. And I actually thank the lucky stars that my dad actually put me through and insisted that me and my sisters, we go through a Chinese education system where we learn the language, where we learn the Confucianism, the Taoism, and all of those things. Because now I can fully live and understand immediately. When I read the ancient texts, I can understand what it is and I can fully embody that easily, right? But it doesn't mean that, the mind can understand and grasp something, but it doesn't mean that I'm living it. And so that made me really curious, and I really wanted to take it to the next level for myself. I really wanted to tap in to say, how can I fully feel aligned? How can I fully feel the way that they're talking about, the stillness, the tranquility, the reverence, the harmony? When I sit with Tea Spirit, I feel her, I can hear her. And I know that the practice that we're cultivating in the tea ceremony is not just meant to remain in the tea space. It's meant to be taken out into the world to be lived. This is why it's an embodied way of living. The way of tea is a way of living. So I dropped into my studies. I wanted to understand a little bit more about who we are and what we really are. And what I discovered was just so mind-blowing. And it changed my entire life. It came about quite serendipitously. I wasn't really like actively looking for it. But I started to drop into very serious work of breath work. And this breath work actually took me into a bigger, potent field of bioenergetics. And so I studied with a doctor and I worked really, really closely with all the teachings. And I discovered that what is amazing is that, and when I study more and deepen my studies with this beautiful teacher, I actually understand that her teachings are actually ancient wisdom married with modern spirituality. So what I really want to say to you today is that what I really, really, really profoundly realized and I want to share with you is that everything we really desire, everything that we want, the stillness, the peace, how we can align the mind and the body and the soul, they have already been with us for centuries. They've been with us. The ancient texts have said it from day one. But my work is really to bring this into your modern space, to bring you into a space where you truly understand that whatever you desire, whatever you want to create in your life, right? It is about really dropping in and anchoring in, and anchoring in specifically in the body. And so when the thinking mind is running the show, it often feels like you are trying to protect yourself. It will often feel like it is trying to show that you're the right one. It is oftentimes really tense. You often feel like you have a lot of tension in your body. And because of the tension in your body, you tend to just numb them away. You don't want to look at them, you don't want to feel them. And so that's all pretty much clear signs that you're living in the thinking mind. And I just want to preface this, the mind is a brilliant design. We want to understand this so that we can use the mind in the right way. Instead of having the mind run the show for us, we teach the mind, we train the mind to magnify the right things. And the magnification will help you to magnify your magnetism, and that magnetism will be your presence. It will be your goddess presence. And I saw one of the polls that I put up today, actually yesterday, I think. So many of you want to know how to cultivate a goddess presence, which I'm going to dive into. And I'm really excited because I'm going to be rolling out something really soon that will absolutely address that as a group program. But for now, I want you to understand that the thinking mind is prejudiced. It's influenced by a lot of things, including logic and history, projection and attachment. So it's not the place to go to heal something. However, you can absolutely train the mind to find and follow you, so it turns its attention to go to the body, because the body is actually a communicator of the soul. The body is always telling you a lot of things, but we as human beings, we've been so conditioned and taught to shut that down that we just rely on the mind. And when we rely on the mind, it's almost like we're trying really, really hard, and we're always chasing after something all the time. It's like, I gotta do this. What can I do? How can I do this? It's like, what did I do wrong, right? We tend to ask this question so much, right? Does this make sense? Does this really, is this making sense for all of you? Because I want you to understand that every single thing in this world, including you, is created by what we call energy. And for you to take back your creatorship, for you to actually embody the creatrix that you truly are, you have to understand that you are creating every single thing. And so what that means is that the body is already telling you what's going to happen, is telling you what is happening, and how can you anchor in your consciousness deeper. You can absolutely get there, but if you're unconsciously going about your day, you're letting the mind do the work, because the mind will always take control. The mind doesn't want to lose control. And so the mind will always be like, okay, right, so she's not dealing with anything, she's not feeling anything, so I'm just gonna help her get this right, get this straight. And okay, so according to history, she had a really bad time with her ex. So I think it's not a great idea for her to even look for love. And maybe I should just tell her that we should just cancel love. Let's cancel love, hate everyone, and this is gonna be amazing. Okay, great. That's it. Send it out. Send a message out to her. That's how the mind works. But what your soul deeply desires, your soul deeply knows, is that you're so much bigger than that. The soul knows you are the soul. It's time for you to claim back your seat in your soul, to become that cosmic consciousness. You are that cosmic consciousness. What that would look like is that you will completely be held in stillness, including in moments when you have no idea what's happening, including in moments when it feels like everything I knew before could have been a lie. You will be held in the moments because you're anchoring and you're landing in your bigger context, in your consciousness, your cosmic consciousness. Because in the cosmic consciousness, there is no sense of saying this was right, this was wrong. The cosmic consciousness knows that everything happened for us. It all was written in the stars. It's already written in the stars. And our work as, what we call the soul purpose is really to be here to unfold the truth of who we are, so that we can allow more of that cosmic consciousness in. What that would look like in your reality is that you'll be seeing things differently. In those moments, for example, like I said, everything I knew was a lie. In those moments, as a cosmic consciousness, you wouldn't go about and say, okay, I'm gonna hate that person forever, and it was all a lie, and I don't know myself anymore, and it just sucks. Life sucks. Instead, you would actually say, this is amazing. Thank you so much for that. Because now I fully feel myself. I feel deep peace landing and expanding in me. I feel like I can start anew. Everything is fully possible for me now. It is such a blessing. Such a blessing. And you will feel the tension in your body just melting away. All those chronic pains, all the tension, the aches, everything. Why? Because the tension is a byproduct. The tension is a byproduct of our mind trying to anchor us in the body. We get tense to hold the system together. And when we're actually anchored in that system with our consciousness, that tension is not even necessary. It's not. So our work is really to become embodied, to be really, really saying that, I have these team members in my body. I have these organs, especially the mind, and all these organs in my body. And I have my spirit, which is the breath. They are going to work together. I'm going to learn how to work together. I'm going to learn how to put them all together so that I have the full faculty to create a system that will allow my full spectrum to land. This is how amazing it is. And actually, when I was studying the ancient text of the etherization of the human system, it actually is exactly that. It's about landing to rise. Once we hit Mother Earth and rise back up, that's when we become truly, truly merged with the ethereal system. It's so beautiful. That's when we're truly in that ascended master realm of consciousness. That's when we are in the space where we open the doorway to become truly relaxed into the truth that we are absolutely abundant, that we're absolutely meant to be creating in abundance, So a lot of times, I think what I'm going to share before I hop off is, yes, Becky, I just saw your message. Yes. I hope that was a yes to what I'm saying. I want to just address something that I often hear about, and I hope this will help you immensely today, whoever that's listening. When you are asking questions of why didn't my manifestation happen, what should I do to make this happen differently, and what's wrong with me? Why didn't it happen? Those questions are not the most effective questions you can ever ask. The truth is, you can absolutely get the answers, but those questions will never be giving you you will never be given the answers that will satisfy you, because your mind is going to continue to run them and analyze them and overanalyze them and run you dry and hang you up to dry, you know? And I really want you to know that what is supposed to be happening is you are meant to be having an abundant and rich and beautiful life. That is the truth of who you are. No exception. And if that is not happening, first and foremost, I would say, is that true? Because your mind may have a filter on it. It may have this whole idea of what being rich, beautiful, and abundant means. I spoke to my clients last week, I think, or 2 weeks ago. I told them, you know, I wrote and I write these newsletters on Mondays and Fridays that I send out to them for them to do over the weekend, sacred play, and also on Monday to start off the week really strong. I can't remember what it was, Monday or Friday, but basically it was a question to them, really asking, you know, are you truly grateful for everything that you have manifested? You know, we want to have one foot in gratitude for what we already have manifested. It is so important. It is so important because there is so many of us that have the tendency to just chase after one thing after another. And the result is that nothing gets done, nothing is achieved, or in the sense of the mind's word, achieved, you know what I mean? And ultimately, there is nobody that's going to feel happy because it's like, yeah, I got what I wanted, but it wasn't good enough. You know, how many times have I heard this? Like, oh yeah, I got a client, but it's just one client. It's the one client. How amazing is that? Or like, yeah, I've got the money, but I have to pay the bills. Yes, you have money that can pay bills. That's amazing. You know, nowadays when I pay my bills, I swear to God, I never used to be like this. I was one of those people who were like, oh my God, all my money goes into paying bills. Now I remind myself, and I actually do it quite automatically. Thank you so much. When I pay my bill, I'm like, yes, thank you so much. And when I tip, I'm happy. Thank you. Because my money allows me, it gives me the opportunity to gift. It gives me the opportunity to pay. When I do that, the money that comes back to me comes back in tenfolds. Because money feels happy to be with me. Money feels happy. It transforms into happy money when it's with me. You know? Why would the universe give you more when you're not happy with it? That's a real question to ask. But it's a rhetoric question. It's like a Zen question, right? You know, by the cosmic law, we're meant to be amazing, magnificent manifestors. All of us. By design. What is natural for us is also that we are meant to be healing, you know, naturally healing, naturally aligned. It's all robustly available for us. And if that's not happening, then that means we're doing something, or we've been doing something to alter it, you know? And it's important to really think, to really come into that perspective and see how we have a tendency to separate ourselves from the natural law, to become this protective personality that feels that we need to protect ourselves, that we need to, you know, self-preservation, all of the stuff. So really, 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 really be really honest with yourself. You know, if resistance is coming up, really reflect on that. Because if resistance is happening, then there is a distortion in your energy. And that distortion is going to interfere with the natural flow. And that natural flow is always meant to be happening for us. We're all meant to be naturally flowing, naturally healing. So I'm going to pull my brakes and stop here because I know it's a lot of information for some people. I just want to share that, when you are my client, as with Becky who's watching, you will absolutely learn. You will learn to ask the most effective questions instead of all those questions like, what should I do to make this happen differently? What is not working? Why isn't this working? You ask the right questions and your life will change dramatically. Because now you're working with how you can really release and start to release all the wobbles so that the distortion in your energy field doesn't happen anymore, and you allow the energy to flow very naturally. Very naturally. And that's how things in your life completely transform. And they continue to evolve. It doesn't stop. It's an upward spiral that we're going on. All of us. All of us. And like I said the other day, we're absolutely going from survival-based species to abundance-based. And this is the work. This is absolutely the work. And it is beaming with light. It's beaming with love. It returns you to love. It is so important because the mind is not meant to work alone. Yeah. Okay. I'm just so happy to see you, Melissa. Welcome. Yeah, so I'm gonna end here, darling ones. Some of the things I'm so excited to share with you is that yes, there will be something exciting about how you can work, put your mind and your body and your spirit to work together. Very specifically, I'm going to roll that out very soon. So stay tuned. In the meantime, if you are looking for high level support, I do have a couple of spaces available for Siren Goddess, the Pearl 4-month immersion. If this is for you, please, please, please definitely get in touch. There are payment plans. There are, you can put down a deposit to hold a space. I've literally taught all my clients to truly, truly change their lives through this work. It's a combination of ancient wisdom, ceremony, and deep bioenergetic healing. And, life is never the same again. I had a client who came in, and I remember the first time she sat with me for ceremony, she was like, I don't know if I love the ceremony, but I have ADHD. By the time we finished the immersion, she said to me, I don't even want these labels anymore. I don't feel that that's the truth of who I am. I was like, that's the first thing I ever said in myself. I didn't tell it to her at the time. But that's the kind of transformation that's available for you. So truly, my loves, I just want you all to have this. It's absolutely for you, for your entire life. It's not something you just do and you copy someone and then you go away and you copy my strategy and do all the things you need to do. No, it's not. It's absolutely for you and by you. I'm here to guide you. I'm here to teach you all the techniques and the work and the teachings and the ancient sacred texts and all those things. But you've got to lead yourself to say yes. The transformation that needs to occur has to happen now. It's for you to say, I don't want to be feeling, like Melissa's saying, not to feel scarcity anymore, because that's not the truth of who you are. That's why we all go around feeling like, this is not me. I hate this feeling. I don't like this feeling because it's not you. So why are we all living in a way where we are just not looking forward to the next day and we're just waiting to die? All of us, right? We're gonna die anyway, by the way, but let's live the best life we can. Let's live the best life we can ever have. For some of you, I'm actually going to Kyoto next year in February, and I'm so excited. And you know what? When I booked my tickets, And when I was looking around and looking at the tea fields that I'm gonna go to, I absolutely had a moment where I was like, "Oh my God, am I okay to do this? Like, what about my, my income, my work, and blah blah blah." It's the first time I've taken time off from work to actually go travel since 2 years ago, when the world went into a lockdown. And I had to step out of that because I want to live a life that's free, that's absolutely allowing me the freedom to do what I want to do, because I know this pilgrimage has been something I wanted to do for a long time. And so I'm super excited for that. I'm transcending, I'm expanding. Everything I teach my clients are very much based on my own experience. My heart is so excited. The work that I'm going to be handing down to my clients is beyond next level, because I've gone beyond next level. When you look at my past videos, just like maybe a month ago, I felt like I was such a different person. It's so crazy. Even my face looks different. And this is what I mean. It's like, I want to be absolutely tapped in. I want to be absolutely anchored in. Yes, Becky, I am so excited. And so I want this for all of you. All of you women deserve to set yourself free. Yeah. And it really, really is about leading yourself through the next and the next and the next and the next. And yeah, it's hard to say, right? Like, I just want to say, we always say we want to be grateful for what we have. We want to be grateful. We want to be grateful. But is it something that just hangs out in your mental state of mind and never really lands here? Let's just be really honest about that, right? Because I know that feeling. I know that feeling very well. The feeling of mentally just saying I'm grateful but not really feeling it, versus the feeling of deep gratitude opening up a portal in me to allow in even more. And that's abundance. That's abundance coming in, flowing in. And when you are not able to feel that, a lot of times there needs to be work of subconscious dissonance releasing. There needs to be some work of really, really coming into your stillness. And sometimes women can't get that by themselves. They can't do that because they don't know. The mind doesn't know what it doesn't know. And that's when you need the support. And that's why I'm here. That's right, Melissa. So trust and surrender, right? Go with what your heart is saying. Go with what your heart needs right now. And it's powerful when you do that. That's when the transformation begins, because you've done it. You've trusted and you've surrendered. Your mind finally got the proof that you didn't die from doing that. And then that's how you continue. But first, you've got to go first. You've got to do it first. Worried around not being able to pay your bills. Okay, so that is a scarcity, right? That's a scarcity of truly a vibration that you're sending out that's saying, I'm worried. And what's going to happen is going to compound. The worry will compound. The worry will become a bigger wobble in your energy field, and it will just never end. It will never end. It will never end. I've absolutely been in that position myself. Absolutely. No idea what's going to happen to my business, not sure what's going to be the next step, don't even know what I'm doing, victimized all the time, feeling like I've been cheated all the time by this teacher or that marketing guru, all the time. And then I realized that my life is not separate from the Tao that I fully loved and devoted myself to. So why did I separate myself from the Tao when it comes to my business? So in the same way, I would ask you to really tap in and ask yourself, is this worry really something that is valid? Is this worry actually, my question to myself that really got me to leap was, is this worry something I am happy to live with forever? Am I happy to just live with this for life? And my answer was like, fuck no. No way. I don't want to feel like this ever. And that was me taking a huge leap. And I took that leap. I invested 4 figures working with someone who could really, really help me out of my scarcity, out of all those things. And energetically, working with that beautiful bioenergetic teacher was one of the most transformative things I've ever done in my life, because she allowed me to see. And then with guidance, I was able to say, right, this is a part of me. Now I can create something that's truly unique and uniquely me, because I have the foundation for it now. And I'm still continuously learning. I'm still evolving, because the more you work with cosmic light, the more streams in, the more power and potency and creativity and inspiration and vision comes through that I can't even put into words. So, will you allow yourself to become the cosmic being that you truly are? That's my question. So, thank you. Thank you, my love. I'm so excited for all of you. Melissa, I understand where you're coming from with that. And honestly speaking, I would say it has something to do with a subconscious dissonance, because when your conscious mind and your subconscious mind are not communicating with each other, like basically there is a trapdoor that slams shut between them, then no matter how much teaching you get, you can't get it, because this is the one that runs your life, not this one. So that's why when I work with my clients, we do that opening the trapdoor a lot as well, so that we can get the dissonance out and allow the conscious mind to flood it with new information for integration to happen. Okay, my love. So excited for everyone. And like I said, if this is for you, get in touch. Let's chat. The investment for the Siren Goddess, the Pearl right now, paid in full is £7,777. But if you want to do a payment plan, I'm happy to provide that for 2-month and 3-month payment plan options. So yeah, I'm so excited. I mean, honestly, if this is something you're looking into, just do it. I'm going to say it. Just do it right now. And if you're looking at a group program, that is a high-level 1-to-1 immersion. But if you're looking at the group program, there is Priestess of Tea as well. That is paid in full in £3,333. There is also a payment plan available for that. It's absolutely more accessible, but it's a group program, just to let you all know. And if you just want to really, really cruise and check out the ceremony, how it feels like and all of that, I'm putting up a very special event as well called the Sacred Bones of Tea. So that's for £59. You can just come on and feel into it, get the juice on and feel into what I'm saying here and really experience it for yourself. It's all divinely yours. And of course, I think there's also the Winter Garden of your soul, which is £291.22 only. It will give you access to me for a month. We are doing 2 tea ceremonies and also just a network of people and just chatting and just connecting and holding you through the winter nights. So that is a little bit more of a silent retreat. That is a silent retreat format. I think that's all I have at the moment, but in January, definitely I'm going to be raising some of the prices and also relooking at some of the programs that I have as well because they are so amazing and they're truly transformative. And I'm seeing that in my clients every day. So, all right, my loves, I'm so excited. And I want to just say thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for opening your mind up to these exquisite gems. I send you all my love, and I can't wait to speak to all of you again. Speak soon. Bye.